Hello, this video is going to show you how to use some very basic functions in Microsoft Excel. The goal of this video is to input data as a table and then generate a chart or two from it. Before I get started, there are two things to remember about Excel. Number one, it's laid out as a table with rows and columns. The rows are numbered, the columns are lettered. The second thing to remember is that if you can express something mathematically, you can create an Excel formula for it. You can also use it to organize data similar to a database, if that's what you were wanting to do. What I'm going to do as an exercise, I want to create a pie chart for my DVD collection. Okay, this is very basic. So first I have to have my data. I input my raw data. I've got a genre and then I've got a number of DVDs. So the genre is Westerns and I've got 5 of them. Sci-fi, I've got 8. Romance, I've got 2. Documentary, we'll say 11. Action, I've got 9, and comedy, 16. Okay, so I have my column titles. This is all of my genres, and this is my number of DVDs. Those are my headers, my column headers. I could input a simple sum formula here if I wanted to see the total. With Excel, you begin the formula with the equal sign, and then you use your formula code, which in this case is sum. There are many formulas for Excel. It's hard to remember a lot of them. Sum is probably the most basic. Equal sum, open parentheses, and then you highlight your data, and then close parentheses, and as you can tell, it's just added up exactly how many DVDs I have in my collection. Now what I want to do is generate a pie chart from this. To do that, you highlight your information, you highlight your data sets, and then choose Insert, Recommended Charts. This is going to pull up several different versions. I want a pie chart. So I'm going to hit Pie Chart, and OK. That shows me the proportions. Now, there is no, all that this is right now, it just shows me proportions. There are no numbers here at all. So it's not that good of a chart. What I need to do is modify this so that it shows the information that I want. To do that, I'm going to choose this little button right here, I think, Chart Styles, and I can select a different style. So there's a fairly basic one. That is a little hard to read. I don't think I want that. That's somewhat interesting, still very basic. This one gives me the percentages, and it has my legend here on the corner. I don't like the colors though, so I'm going to keep looking around and find a chart style that I want. That's pretty nice. It's got bold, and I can play around with this. So that's what I'm going to go with. Now, first thing, I've got a title of my chart. Just click on the chart title and change this. I'll call it My DVD Collection. Then I need to change what types of data are displayed. Okay, I have my chart here. I right-click on the numbers, Format Data Labels. Then I can choose what I want. I want the actual value. So by checking the value box, that's going to change this. It's going to show me the raw number and the percentage. That's what I want. Now I can make this larger or smaller. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. And I don't like having these data points inside the pies myself, so I'm going to expand that. By clicking and dragging, I can move this to outside of the actual pie slices. So this is a fairly workable basic pie chart. It shows me the information proportionately, and I've also got the raw data there. And of course here are my columns. I think I can make these even larger. Let's see if I can change. Change my font. Why not? 9 point. Let's make it 10. That made it a little bit bigger. Do it again. Font. This time I'm going to change it to 12 point. There, much larger. Then I can move this as need be. There we go. It's easier to read these column headers now. Maybe it's too large, maybe not. Now to use this chart, if I wanted to put this into a Word document, all I do is right-click on the chart and go to Copy, and then I open up my Word file. I'll open up a Word document. And what I could do is just right-click and paste, or select Paste here from the box. There we go. It copied it, pasted it right in. Now since I've started with this, what's probably going to be the easier thing is I'm just going to delete it there. If I'm inserting this into my document, let's say I'll start with some text. I have created this Excel pie chart to show the current numbers of DVDs in my video collection. You'll notice that the chart has labels, colors, and percentages in addition to the raw numbers. Alright, that's my text. Now I'm going to paste again. Now what I can do is change my text wrap in Word by right-clicking here, Wrap Text, Square, I don't like that, Tight, no, Through, top and bottom, let's do a tight wrap. Now if I reposition this, you can see that it changes the layout. That could be interesting. It's a little large, so I'll make this a little smaller. I can also change where the individual chart is. Oops, screwed up, don't like it, undo. That's great. If I want that nice and there we go. This is something like what you might see in a document if you were laying it out as such. And I can move, put that up there, move this little number down there, move this. There we go. It's not a great chart, but it's very basic. And since this is all in a Word document, I can then save it as a Word document or as an Excel file. Working with additional data. I can create a new sheet, another sheet, little plus sign there, and let's say this time I want to analyze change over time. Okay, to analyze and display change over time, as before, we have to put in our the types of data that we're dealing with. So let's say that I want to create a chart showing my bank account. Okay, first I'll give this a general title, bank accounts, bank account, the day and the value. So we'll start with January 2020, the value $35. On the 2nd of January, 45. Now, I don't like this because I'm using different types of number displays. So I can just highlight all that and change by right here, telling it what specific. I don't want a long date, where it writes everything out. I can just right click, format cells. It's a date, and this shows me kind of what I want. Oh, there we go. Whichever one I want. I'll go with that one and hit OK. And there it's formatted the dates that I've got. I don't like it a little close here, so I'm just going to change my alignment. You can change the font, the style, just as you would in Word. And this, I'm dealing with dollar amounts, so I'm going to highlight that and tell Microsoft Excel that these are dollars. So I can right click, format cells, currency. There we go, 35, and it displays $2 points. Okay, and hit OK. Put in another date, 3876 for, of course, it 4319, $53.90, and then we've got some bills due, so we're down to $1.76, and then on the 20th, $23.95. On the 7th. Okay, just basic data here. So what I want to do is show a chart, create a chart that will show me my numbers over time. So to do that, this time I'm going to highlight everything. See what happens. Highlighted it. Go to Insert, Recommended Charts. And right there, this is a line chart that shows the trend. It's got the dollar amount, roughly, and by dates. I like that one. I could do this as a clustered column. That's not bad. It shows me large numbers. I kind of like that one. As you can see here, the pie chart, this is not going to really give me anything good. I mean, it shows me a proportion, but since these dollar amounts are so very similar, this chart doesn't really give me some specific data that I can use. It's not as helpful. This one, for my purpose, strikes me as helpful. So I hit OK, and there we go. I now have a chart showing the progression to change over time of my numbers. If I wanted these points to be specific, exactly what the point was, I should be able to click on one of those points, right click, I think format data point. Nope. Select data. Nope, that's not doing it. Let's go back to the chart size style. Oh, there we go. That shows me the numbers right there. But I've lost my column. I like that. So that's the one we'll go with. Now I need to change where these appear so that it doesn't disrupt the flow of the chart, and so that I can clearly read the numbers. There we go. This shows the data points and the change in time. Now to use this again, I'm going to right click on my chart, click on the chart, copy, go back into my Word document, and now I will paste. This chart shows the progression of my bank account value over 7 days. I don't like the way this is laid out. Once again, if I click on the chart title, I'll make sure I got the whole thing, click on the chart, right click, wrap text, or I could also do this little button, make it tight. There we go, tight wrap, and I can change that. Or I could put it right underneath, however I wanted to modify it. So what I have here is a Word document with my 2 different charts, and I'm now able to save this as a Word file or as a PDF or both. Okay, that is the very basic stuff for Excel. I can also, I can sort this if I wanted to, data, sort, sort by the day. No, I'll sort by value, largest to smallest. Okay. This is particularly helpful if I'm dealing with a vast amount of data. I could input a formula here. Let's see if I wanted to see what my average balance was. Equals average. Then I highlight my data. So that's my average balance for that time period, 34.51. And you can see as I change the data, it automatically calculates it. Let's say if this I had $176, and that changes everything. Notice how the graph has been changed accordingly, because it's still, whatever this image looks like is based on the data that's been changed here. So when I change my data, I'll change the graph. Okay, hope this has been helpful. That's all.